Hey planner friends, it's Amanda. In today's video, I wanted to share all the planners that have helped me settle on my current planner. I currently use a Jibun Techo, but it's been a journey to get here, and all of these past planners really helped me figure out what I like, what I don't like. So if you love a good planner chat, grab a tasty drink, stick with me, we'll talk about it. Okay, so the very first planner I decided to try was the Hobonichi Weeks. This was like last year, 2023, towards the end of the year, maybe September. I found this all over YouTube. It was this Hobonichi Weeks, and I really love the idea that it's so compact. It's super small, so I thought I could just toss it in my bag, take it with me, and I really wanted to try this paper. It has the Tamoe River paper in it, which is just a really thin, really smooth paper. And I was curious about this paper, wanted to give it a try. So this was the first planner that I went for. Right off the bat, I can tell you this particular cover, this isn't always the case with the Hobonichi Weeks, but this cover, it doesn't lie flat. It does not stay open. And so right off the bat, I did not love that. But this was the most affordable one that I could find. I got it on Amazon. And because it was right at the end of the year, I didn't want to invest a ton of money in this. So I wasn't willing to pay extra to get a cover that would lie flat. I thought I would just power through with that. But that was the number one. Not my favorite thing was that it would not stay open. And then the other thing is, so if you've been on Planner YouTube at all, you're familiar with this planner already, but it has these monthly pages. It's just a standard month calendar, starts on Monday. I knew I would like that. It has the weeks pages that are a horizontal weekly layout with like a notes page on this side. Okay, so my monthly pages, this is a calendar like this would work for me. But at the time, my handwriting was huge and I couldn't fit my events into these tiny boxes. What's funny is since trying this planner, since using planners, my handwriting has gotten better and I have learned how to comfortably write much smaller than this. So if I tried this planner now, it would probably work for me, but well, in that regard at least. But at the time, my handwriting was way too big and that drove me crazy right off the bat. And then I tried my weekly layouts. I don't know, tried to just like put my appointments along here. This was for my house cleaning routines. This is my Fly Lady Zones. I'll do a separate video on that, but I thought like I would track, some of my house cleaning routines here, appointments, but then this page laid empty because I just didn't know what to do with it. And I really didn't like this sort of layout. Like my brain just doesn't think that way, thinking like this is Monday, this is Tuesday. This just felt like one long list to me, and it didn't feel like events on separate days. So I played around with like maybe putting a little more decor in there, did some little art doodling here. This is a sticker that I made. I liked that, but I didn't even use this week. Like I didn't put anything in there. I played around with like, what if I switched it to a vertical weekly layout? Would I like that better? But then what's the point if you're just going to totally change the layout of your planner? I mean, I guess maybe that could work. I know it's worked for some people, but like a vertical layout, meh. So honestly, I barely use this. I put some notes in here somewhere. There were some notes. I like tried to set up my zones for my house cleaning stuff in the back, but all these note pages are empty. I hardly used it. And what I learned from this planner is that I like the Tamoe River paper. And that's about it. Nothing else in this planner really worked for me, to be honest. So I thought, okay, well, what if I went with the Hobonichi Cousin instead? And again, if you've been on Planner YouTube at all, you've seen the Hobonichi Cousin. But the Hobonichi Cousin has a horizontal weekly layout instead. No, sorry. Yeah, no, vertical. So the Hobonichi Cousin has a vertical weekly layout instead. And I thought that would probably work a lot better for me. So this one has months, weeks, and then days pages, and every day is dated. This is not a real Hobonichi Cousin. Obviously, it's not a super cheap planner. It's not insanely expensive either, but especially at the end of the year, I did not want to invest in something to like see if I would like it. So I bought a knockoff on Amazon. I don't feel super great about supporting a company that's like just completely copying another company's design. But for this purposes, I did it anyway because this was super cheap, came to me right away, and it let me try this planner out. You can see how fat this planner is because it's not the Tamoe River paper. So it's just like regular paper. But other than that, it's really a copy of the Hobonichi Cousin. So with this one, I loved the weekly layouts right away. This was the first week that I used it, and I was putting in little stickers as kind of like a way of journaling. Like my husband and I went out for sushi for our anniversary this night, so I put like a little sushi sticker. We went for a bike ride. I went for a bike ride with my kid this day, so I put that in there. I know we went out for breakfast this day. We went out and got ice cream this day. So honestly, it makes me so happy even just looking back on this now because it's got like all my little bits of journaling and things in there too. This was from a favorite book I was reading. I did this little sketch because poppies were a big part of that book. And so I drew one in there and I spent a lot of time reading this day. It was like so fun. But I did get to a point where I wasn't journaling by writing anything. I was just journaling with my stickers. Like we got pizza this night and I read a book this night and I kind of started to run out of stickers that like fit what I was doing. So that was one thing that I was kind of like iffy on. Like I didn't know about that. And then also, and I think this was the biggest thing with this one, is I don't use daily pages every day. So having all of these dated daily pages in here, it just felt overwhelming to me. And I didn't want a ton of empty pages in my planner. So that was a big no for me. I tried to repurpose some of them. I did repurpose some of them. I think I put like meal ideas and my zones for my Fly Lady routine. But I knew I wasn't going to be able to repurpose all these pages, and I wasn't using daily pages. So that was out. So I thought, well, what if I just had like the weekly layout that I like and the months, but no dailies? And I found this planner on Amazon. It's an Inamio planner. I would absolutely definitely recommend this planner if this is the kind of layout that you need. I did really like this planner, but I'll tell you, this is why this one doesn't have a cover. It used to have this cover on it, and I liked this cover so much that I cut it off and put it under a plastic sheet protector so that I could put it on this next planner that I moved into. So that's the story. That's why there's no cover here. So I'll link to this planner in the description below. Totally not affiliated in any way, but I do recommend this planner. I think it's a great planner. It has, so it's from Inamio, and it has the monthly calendar, and then it has the weekly layout, very similar to the Hobonichi Cousin, but just no daily pages. It just goes, it has got a few note pages in the back, and that's it. And it is thicker paper. So I was doing my weeks in here, and again, I totally loved this. It was like the journaling, but I was running out of stickers to fit the journaling. So it's kind of a little less organized, but like we went to see the Ninja Turtle movie here. We went ice skating this day. I was kind of printing stuff off the internet sometimes too, and just doing little bits of micro journaling in here. And I loved that. So the thing with this one was that it just wasn't very portable because it has like the thicker paper. It's got a hard cover. It's kind of heavy, kind of big. It wasn't something that I felt like I could like throw in my bag and take with me, which is really a lot what I wanted. Plus, I was running into this issue with the stickers, feeling like, am I just going to keep using stickers for journaling? I'm not sure. And then also, I also felt like it was kind of, at the time, I felt like my weekly was kind of redundant. Like a lot of things in my life are kind of like repeating every week. It's like very similar types of events. So I thought, I don't know, do I even need like a huge weekly spread like this? Maybe what I need is like notes pages and a place to possibly put a daily page when I want to, and a monthly calendar, but I just don't even need a weekly setup at all. So that is what brought me to this little planner. I wanted something that was more portable. It's small. And I thought maybe the week is just redundant. Maybe like I just don't need that. So this is like a traveler's journal style, but I made it myself. I made this cover, and I have some thicker books in here than what you would get in the traveler's notebook system. I'll link to this notebook below as well. But this is the Tamoe River paper in a small little notebook. And so this is what I was using for my daily component. So in this like traveler's notebook style notebook, I have a monthly calendar that I got from Daiso. It's just like a little monthly insert. And so my months were like really straightforward. This is what my months would look like. And then I had, this was added later, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Initially, I just had this Tamoe River paper notebook. And then I had an additional notebook in the back. Again, this is from Daiso. And this would be like my collections style stuff. So this is like lists that I want to reference over a long period of time, but don't necessarily belong to any kind of a dated system. I'm tracking the One Piece story arcs. I'm reading One Piece and I wanted to keep a list of One Piece story arcs. So that kind of stuff would go in here, like collections type stuff. And then this was for my dailies, and I would just like write, I mean, honestly, just whatever. This was like a trip that we took and I wanted to keep track of some details from that. A quote that I found. I filled up my gas tank this day. I was trying mind mapping, playing around with that. I liked the freedom of this because they're just blank pages. So I could literally just come in here and like write whatever I wanted. Sometimes I would put like a little schedule in there. Sometimes I would put a short to-do list, but I didn't really have like maybe a set system with this. I would just kind of do whatever I wanted, and like would do some art journaling in there. Sometimes I had another page that I filled in with some art somewhere. Oh yeah, here. This page was blank, so I just like played around with some painting and stuff. So I would just do whatever I wanted. But then I got to a point where I really felt like I was missing that weekly page. The weekly is what anchors my planning system. It's what keeps me on track for like just keeping track of my appointments. And even though things do repeat pretty regularly, I like to be able to like open it up and see like a whole weekly layout, right? So I played around with drawing my weeks in here. Like I played around with just putting my weeks in here. What if I just draw a sort of vertical weekly layout? But it just was too small. It didn't quite work for me the same way that it had in other planners. So that's where I started to kind of thinking about what else I might want to do for this. I loved the traveler's notebook style where I had multiple books in here because it really helped me like kind of compartmentalize, like this is for collections, this is for daily tasks, this is my calendar. I really liked having that all spaced. Oh, and then I was going to show you, this was added in later because I thought, what if I printed out a weekly layout and just made it myself? But that didn't really work great for me either. So I liked the traveler's notebook component of it. But the other thing is, like, this is a really big notebook. And if I'm not using a daily page every single day, it's going to take me forever to fill this notebook. So here I am carrying around this, like, you know, pretty compact, but like really thick thing. And I thought, you know, I'm not sure that I'm really using that to its fullest. So you can see in my journaling, when I discovered the Jibun Techo, I was like, I'm thinking about this new planner. I was like journaling all about this planner that I was considering getting, what I would do. And then like nothing after that. I got my Jibun Techo and moved on to that. So here's that planner. When I first got this, I didn't love the cover, but I really loved the cover that I had made for this traveler's notebook that I made. And so I used the same fabric and the same type of plastic covers to customize this to look more like this. Once I made this cover feel more like me, I really am loving this planner. So the thing that I love about it is it has all the things from the other ones that I wanted. It's got my weekly pages in here, and I'm using them a lot like I was like over here. You know, you can see how similar the style is. I'm still using it a lot the same, right? It's a traveler's notebook style to where, you know, my daily pages are over here. The reason I like that is because if I have notes pages in with a bound book, I worry that like I'm going to run out of notes pages or I have to kind of like be careful about how I use them. With this, I can use it as much or as little as I want to, because when I need to replace it, I just literally pull just this book out. This part, my weekly stuff, is a separate book. So if I fill this up and I still have half a year to go, I just replace this and I'm good to go. I am not using the life book right now very much from this. I'm not really using that. So we'll see. Maybe I'll put more notes pages on the back or something else. But I was able to put all of my collections in here, like my zone cleaning and, you know, that one piece story arcs that I was tracking from over there. I moved it to over here. I have like meal planning stuff in here, all kinds of. So my collections and my weekly planning goes in here. These are my notes pages. Let's see if there's anything overly personal. I don't think so. I just kind of write like when I want to. Like sometimes I put a to-do list, sometimes not. A little bit of journaling about my day, maybe. I mean, I just write in here like literally whatever I want to. I just put whatever I want to in here. This is my free space to like put anything I want. I love that it is that traveler's notebook style. So I don't know, that was a bit of a story, but I hope you kind of see how it all unfolded. And more than that, I hope it helps you figure out what planners might work for you. My biggest bit of advice, if you're trying to figure it out, is just like, you know, do some research about what layouts you think might work for you. Give something a try, but it might not work right off the bat. And like, you might discover these little tweaks that need to happen to kind of get you to where you want to be. Also, I am keeping this one because I know myself and I know that there's a somewhat decent chance that at some point I'll get bored with this. And I think when that happens, going back into this might be a really good fit. It's not dated for most of it, so I can just pick up where I left off. And the calendar component of it, I can just replace that if I need to. If I get through the end of the year and I want to use this like next year or something, I can just replace that calendar component. So this one stays as a backup. This one stays as my main planner. I don't know if I'll keep these for a keepsake purpose because they're not completely full, but we'll see, maybe. I hope this video was maybe helpful, maybe entertaining. If you have anything that you want to share about your planner system, I would love to hear it. Leave me a comment, subscribe so that you can catch future videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye. Are you playing hide and seek? He's not gonna come in here.